Hello friends, welcome back for another stitch tutorial for the Florida Road Trip Mystery Knit Along. This one is for leg 6 and this is my clue and I'm Valerie. So we are going to be working on these little curvy lace patterns that kind of resemble the stitches that go around a baseball. So here's the long version. Over here we've got the short version in a darker yarn. And let's get started. So as usual, I like to take a look at the chart so that I can point out anything different about the chart. And in this case, the biggest difference is that it's a pretty big repeat. It's a 22 stitch repeat, but here at the very end, this blue column, you omit that on the final repeat. So see here it says work 3 times. So you're going to do this section and you're going to knit all the way across including the blue stitch, and then you're going to go back and do it again including the blue stitch, and then you go back and do the third time, and on the third time you stop on the last white stitch and just get that blue one out there, and it will make sense because by the time you get here you'll be at your edge marker. So we're gonna look at how to make one left, make one right, and this central double decrease, and I'm going to show you how to do those. I've already started, and just to be really clear, I'm only doing 1/2 of the repeat so that we can see all the different stitches. I'm not doing both sides, but you'll get to see everything you need to see. And I've worked several rows already. And basically how this works is that when we want our stitches to curve to the left, we're going to add stitches on the right hand side, and we're going to decrease stitches on the left hand side, and that will force our lace pattern to curve. And then when we're ready to go back the other way, we're going to add stitches on the left side and decrease on the right hand side, and that will help us curve back to the right. Okay, so let's make one left. To do this, you take the tip of your left hand needle and we're going to pick up this bar between the stitches, and we're going to do that from the front. So just insert the tip of your needle in there and lift that string up onto the needle, and now we're going to treat it as a stitch. If we were to knit this through the front though, see how that makes that hole? We don't want to do that. We're going to knit it through the back. Okay, so we put it through the back loop and knit the stitch, and that twists that piece of yarn that we picked up, so it just makes a nice little stitch in there, and that piece of yarn that ends up being in front is leaning towards the left. Okay, now we'll keep on knitting, and I want to show you this decrease that is a double decrease. A double decrease basically means that you go from 3 stitches down to 1 stitch. So here we are, we're going to do a yarn over, and now we're going to slip 2 stitches together knitwise. Okay, so I've got both stitches here, slipping them knitwise, knit 1, and now I'm going to lift those 2 slipped stitches up and over that knit stitch and off the needles. Yarn over, and now I'm on the decrease side of things. I'm going to slip knit over here. You've been doing these the whole project, so no problem, right? All right, I will be back to show you how to do things when we're leaning the other direction. We are back, and I have done a couple of the rows that are just working straight up, and now it's time to curve back to the right. So now we're going to be decreasing on this side of our lacing and increasing over here to give it that gentle curve. So the first thing we're going to do is knit 4 stitches. And now I'm going to knit 2 together to make my decrease. And now to do the lacing, I'm going to remember my yarn over. Slip 2 stitches together knitwise, knit 1, and slip those 2 stitches over, or pass those 2 stitches over. And there is my yarn over. And I'm going to knit 2, and now I want to make one right. When we made one left, we swooped in from the front. To make one right, we're going to swoop in from behind, but we're still lifting that same piece of yarn. This time, we swooped in from behind. If we were to knit here, we'd get that big hole if we knit through the back loop. So what we do is we knit through the front, and I like to use the tip of my needle to pull that piece of yarn forward a little bit and hold it in place with my index finger so that I can get in there to knit it. So there's a make one right. And so you'll do that for several rows and curve things on back to the right there, and it will make that nice little pattern for you. Have fun knitting.